Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to The Sanctuary. I'm your host, Professor C, and we're going to continue our lecture series on A&P. Specifically, we are going to do study session number 100. We made it here finally, and we're going to talk about throat muscles today, specifically the hyoids and the pharyngeals, those that would help you talk and swallow. Let's do it. This is a howler monkey, and he sounds like this. He's able to make that strange sound because he has a special bone in his throat called a hyoid bone. Now what you're looking at here is a human hyoid bone. Note its position right here. And it is strange in that it is the only bone in the body that is unarticulated, that it does not articulate directly with another bone. It will attach to them via some other musculature and some ligamentation, but it doesn't physically connect like all the other bones in the skeleton do. So the howler monkey can make those sounds because his hyoid bone is designed to do that. Ours also helps us talk, but we can't make the exact same sounds, of course, that that animal can. For us, it does help us talk. It does help us swallow. The fancy word for swallow is called deglutition, and it helps us do this by anchoring muscles that are in the mouth, the larynx, which of course is the voice box, and the pharynx, which is the muscular throat. So let's check out some of these muscles that are attached to the hyoid bone. There are two groups essentially, a group of 4 that are above the hyoid called suprahyoids. They're superior to it. And then there are also a group of 4 below the hyoids called the infrahyoids. So the suprahyoids, because they are above or superior to the hyoid, they will all help to elevate not only the hyoid bone, but also the larynx itself as we swallow to aid in deglutition. The infrahyoids, being that they're underneath, will depress the hyoid and the larynx while we're talking or during the last stages of swallowing. A picture of the suprahyoids. Geniohyoid, and if we can remember our roots again, genio meaning chin, so chin hyoid is where this one will have its attachments. Mylohyoid is the purple one. It's going to attach to the mandible and the hyoid. Digastric is called so because it has 2 bellies. And you can see that yellow muscle over to the left, how it's got a belly here that I'll put a check on, and it's got a little belly over on this side as well. And then stylohyoid, the styloid process of the temporal bone and the hyoid bone are its attachments. So here are the details of each. Notice specifically the nerves here as I scroll through all these and how it's kind of a little bit of everything. You've got hypoglossal, trigeminal, facial. So keep that in mind. They're not all innervated by the same nerve. As far as the infrahyoids go, we have sternohyoid going from the sternum to the hyoid. It's the blue one. We have the omohyoid. And omo is one of those strange roots, a very old root that means raw or uncooked, but for some strange reason it's turned into a root for the shoulder, so that should attach to the shoulder, the scapula, and then up to the hyoid. Sternothyroid should attach to the sternum and the thyroid cartilage, which is in the throat right about here where I'm just drawing a circle, and the thyrohyoid going from the thyroid cartilage to the hyoid bone. Here are the details of those. The thing that might be jumping out to you on these first 3 is that nerve, the innervation. Antecervicalis refers to the first 2 branches of the cervical plexus, and it's something we'll get into much later in the nervous system. Now, when we get down to thyrohyoid, it is actually served by hypoglossal nerve, cranial nerve 12. Now you do also have some larger muscles in the pharynx that help you squeeze the throat as you swallow. So you can imagine it pushing food down the esophagus. So these are called pharyngeal constrictors because they will constrict or choke the pharynx, the muscular throat. The superior, the middle, and the inferior. The superior is innervated by vagus, and it's a theme that you will see repeated here. Let me show you the superior pharyngeal constrictor muscle. There are other names for it, but it's right there. Action is to swallow, and that's pretty much going to be across the board here. The middle one, and when it refers here to a pharyngeal raphe, that's just the midline of the pharynx in the back of the throat there. Notice it originates in hyoid and goes up and inserts in the middle part of the pharynx. Also innervated by the vagus. In green here, I will highlight for you the middle pharyngeal constrictor. And then the inferior one should be exactly where you think it is. And it should be innervated exactly like we think it is by vagus. And it's right here, attached to the thyroid cartilage, and down here, the little tip of it, down to the cricoid cartilage. Just as a little note here at the end, there are a couple of palatine muscles that sometimes creep up into A&P classes. I often confuse these when I first see them with pterygoid muscles because they're in a similar place. Let's take a look at tensor veli palatini, and that's going to be this right here, this top little guy near those pterygoids. So its job is to tense the soft palate. That's all it does, is it gets it tense. It doesn't actually move it anywhere, and it's innervated by trigeminal cranial nerve 5. Levator veli palatini is the smaller one underneath it, if I can circle it here in red, and its job is, as it says in its name, to raise the soft palate. And this is innervated by vagus nerve, cranial nerve 10. All right, hope you enjoyed those palatine muscles. Again, another one that made me want to go eat some food, so grab a snack, enjoy other videos if you want to see any more of the 100 that I've now posted, and go outside and howl like a howler monkey. Bye-bye.